UK&I and welcome to Interlagos for Monday Night Skippys here on RaceSpot TV. Rachel Whiteford and Connery Maddock bringing you all the action here on RaceSpot and iRacing Live. Well, we're in Brazil, Connery. Qualifying is nearly in the books. In fact, pretty much is in the books. This one is going to be different.
It definitely is going to be different, and Tom Wood starting from more of a characteristic outside of the top three on the grid, which can certainly make things interesting.
Certainly could do. Speaking of where he qualified, let's cut without further ado to the grid. On pole for today's event, Chris Malcolm making a return with a fantastic run there. John Sully second place, fantastic. Stephen Wareham, Ben Daniels, your top four. Tom Ward in fifth. Gary Tall in the sixth spot with Bill Fraser. Mick Watson, Mark Turner, Neil Bontemps in the 10th spot. Rest of those results on your screen. Connery, some big movers in your top 10 for qualifying. Bill Fraser back up towards the front. That's a key one. Watson and Turner, though, back out the top 5 in the bottom end of your top 10. Sully, Wareham and Daniels, though. Malcolm, this is interesting.
Yeah, fantastic qualifying effort for those guys. Chris Malcolm, I haven't seen him up at the pointy end of the field in quite a while. John Sully, fantastic qualifying moment. So is Stephen Wareham, as you have mentioned. But looking back through the field as well, you've got the likes of Neil Bontemps, Gareth Dorning, Matthew Willett, Stuart McFadden, Andrew Les Leach. They're all inside the top 20 as well. So there have been quite a few movers in this qualifying field that we don't quite expect, but it's absolutely great to see nonetheless.
Certainly is, and looking forward to seeing what these guys can do once we head into the race itself, which will be kicking off in just a moment's time here. Interlagos, 13 laps. This is going to be a very, very fast race. And why is a comparatively short lap? We'll see what will happen for tonight's event. Big grid tonight, of course. Popular track. 50 cars going to take to the grid for this one. 49 of them qualified. Going to be very, very busy here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, home country of our cameraman Hugo Luis here. Green flag flies, and into turn 1 we go. Who will live through this one? 50 car grid, turn 1 at Interlagos. That never ends well in any series. Top 3 are clear. Tom Ward can't choose a line. He's going to go around the outside though on Ben Daniels for the first corner. Will make it work. Gets the inside for the second part, the center S. So your field will filter down through turn 1, 3 wide through the first part, back in your mid pack. A couple of cars go off the track. Fanning round one car who's sideways. Connery will find out who that was, but a lot of cars still to come through this one. A couple of spinners. Largely everyone surviving. They're 3 wide through the center S's.
Yeah, not the greatest of ideas, and there's the 101 car, Neil Bontemps, who actually got tagged by the car of Gareth Dorning, and actually Gareth Dorning had a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact with the car on his inside, and that was Clark Williams, so one into the other, and then Neil Bontemps had heavy impact with the tyre barriers, and then it was just a complete carnage behind as the car spread out all across the track to try and avoid the stranded car.
So they did a huge pack of cars heading up into turn number 7 here. Field very, very busy at this stage. Tom Ward's made a spot on Ben Daniels. He's going after your top 3 right now of Malcolm, Sully and Wareham in very short order here. Ward making no mistake of his desire to get back to the front of this field. As we'll head down towards the end of the lap. Top 10 still quite close together. Big pack down here. About Paul Thurston, 18th, the 50 car. Actually, no, a little bit behind him. Actually, Craig Hobson there, the 76. Huge pack of cars. We'll have a look at your leaders as they come up. Finally now. Onto that front stretch, a big curving front stretch here. It's Malcolm is Sully and Malcolm's teammate Stephen Wareham there. About to be passed by Tom Ward, who has the draft. Will pull to the inside there, Connery. It's going to be an easy one for him, but look at this. Sully going for the point on lap number 1.
Yeah, here we go. 2x2 for all the podium positions +1, heading their way down into the first corner. Sully versus Malcolm, Wareham versus Ward as it goes coming down into turn 1. John Sully's going to make his way through to the front of the field. Tom Ward is going to make his way through to the final spot on the podium as well. But again, as we know in Skip Barber Racing, especially in this series, just because there's a possibility doesn't mean that it's over. And these guys will be fighting all throughout the race to try and get back to that pointy end of the field. But look at that. John Sully has already stretched out a gap over Chris Malcolm. Tom Ward may have an opportunity here coming down to turn 4, but he backs out of it.
Certainly could do. Looking back though, we'll take a quick look here around Brian Loynes and Robert Plumley side by side and run down to 4. Will Fairbanks throw it up the inside? He does. It's just Fairbanks, not Loynes, we're looking at. The 109. Loynes just up ahead of them. Car behind him. David Burnett there. With Simon Maltby also around. Joined by Ryan Walker. At this moment in time, but Plumley has the inside line. Up the hill they'll climb and round 6 into 7. Too wide into the corner. Plumley and Fairbanks. Plumley gets the line. Connery.
Yes, he does. And, well, David Burnett also may have had an opportunity, but now he's exposed himself to the likes of Ryan G. Walker as he made his way. Look, race lead. Here we go. John Sully versus Tom Ward. Tom Ward's made his way through the field from his qualifying in P5, and now he's looking for the race lead yet again so many times during this series. And here he goes, coming towards the latter end of the lap. He has the inside line, but I think John Sully has enough time to reply down into turn 1 if he can catch the draft as he falls behind.
That was a huge run Tom Ward got there, Connor. He had the lead almost before we get to the draft zone with this first stretch here. We'll be in front of him, but can Chris Malcolm reply? No, sorry, John Sully, can he reply to this one? Will he get the draft on Ward? Could he get it to just look back inside? Not going to happen. Already from 5th to 1st in 3 laps for Tom Ward. Behind it will be John Sully, Stephen Wareham, Chris Malcolm, Ben Daniels, Gary Tall, Watson, Adcock, and Turner. Bill Fraser in 10th. Adcock making his way forwards from qualifying in 11th. He's a big mover already, as is Andrew S. Leach, Connery, 17th to 12th. 21st to 15th. Hefford moving his way forwards also.
Yeah, and here we come down into turn 4. Challenge for a race lead yet again. That's Tom Ward defending his position from John Sully. John Sully has to push wide though. That's going to compromise him on exit, but that's going to put him under threat from Stephen Wareham. Maybe coming up into Ferradura turn 6, 7, 8, 9 sort of section in the middle sector of the lap here. But it looks all okay right now for John Sully in that 2nd place. But look at this train. This is all the way back to Bill Fraser in 10th place. Any one of these drivers can get the race win at this moment in time.
Certainly could be. Of course, Tom Ward leading the train here. What is about 10 cars in this one, all the way back to Bill Fraser, top 10th position. Yeah, we have a 10-car train for the lead at Interlagos. Tom Ward is out front, but no one's letting him go at this stage. It's very close. Although other cars have to focus on getting that exit from the final corner here, because they have not been getting it right, and that's been allowing Ward to catch so many people out. But look at a good run here by Sully. Will he have the advantage as they climb up towards start-finish line? He does have the draft on Tom Ward. Will we see an attempt? Ward's going to go defensive very early on. Big run here by Sully. Could he look to the inside? Will this help them break away, Connery, from that rest of the pack here? If they draft and work together, but no, Ward's going to go super defensive on lap 3, which is surprisingly early, but he will do it as he goes round the outside there. John Sully with a huge head of steam leading into the center S's.
Yeah, meanwhile, battling behind between Ben Daniels and Chris Malcolm. They're still going to head 2 wide through the center S's. There's 2 wide behind them as well between Stuart Adcock and Mick Watson. Stuart Adcock is going to come out on top of that particular battle, but now it's the run coming out of the Curva del Sol down the back straight here into Lagos. Is Gary Tall versus Chris Malcolm. Gary Tall is the yellow car on the inside, Chris Malcolm the green on the outside as they head down onto the brakes into turn 4. Gary Tall's going to back out of the move. Stuart Adcock still looking at an opportunity around the outside, not going to manage to make it work though.
Not yet, he's not, but it keeps Tom Ward in 2nd place as here comes Wareham looking to get involved in this top 3 fight. Ben Daniels rallying back as well. He's managed to clear Chris Malcolm, moving up to 4th place. We'll see what they can do. It's big pack there. Oh, moving behind. I think that was one of the cars just a little bit further back. I'm trying to work out who that was. It wasn't Adcock. Adcock made his way through, but Watson, yes. Watson had a big dive. Adcock also moving forwards here very aggressively. 2 wide with Watson. 2 of them behind Gary Toll, who himself attacking Chris Malcolm here. This top 10 is going to get a very crowded place in Connery.
Yes, it is, and a couple of big dives there from Mick Watson trying to get past Stuart Adcock, but Adcock was just not having any of it as they head through Zhongkao right now, which is the last real corner on this racetrack, side by side yet again for the race lead. This is Tom Ward just getting by at John Sully, and now Stephen Wareham is close enough to maybe think about mixing it in with these two coming down into turn one. Look at how nose to tail John Sully and Tom Ward are. Here comes the run from Stephen Wareham, 3 wide down the pit straight across the start finish line. Lap 5 coming onto lap 5 here at Interlagos, and that's going to be Stephen Wareham to the race lead. We suspect if he holds the inside line here, and we'll put Wareham into the race lead, Tom Ward down into second, and John Sully in third. Ben Daniels is still there in fourth, and well, this is just an example of things to come as they head to
Look at this, the run by Tom Ward up the inside. He'll come out of the S's on the run down past the Cover de Sol to turn number 4 here. Huge head of steam for Tom Ward, but look at this though. We're seeing Stephen Wareham, John Sully, Ben Daniels racing for your podium spots in the lead in this one. This is fantastic to see the quality of driving here so high. Reply by Stephen Wareham here on Ward. Not going to have it for 6. Oh, a bit loose behind him. Chris Malcolm gets wobbly, goes off onto the grass, hits nobody, but has to rejoin. Will lose track position there. There's a field following Tom Ward now. We'll have a look back a little bit further. I think we just heard something on the radio from Maltby. Unfortunately, he's back in the 36th spot, so he's had a problem, Connery. We'll try and find out what happened for Simon Maltby. Oh, in turn number 3, Cover de Sol there. It was him in the 05.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he's complaining about there. He had no room to come back onto the track there, and he should have just lifted out and filed in behind, and that was just an unfortunate incident as a result.
Well, I think he kind of got squeezed off the track there, Connery. He was kind of around the outside of the 05 before he took all the track out and pushed him onto the grass. So one of those things, but he's collected a few cars that in the 33. I think that was room should have been left. We'll look back towards your leaders. Here as Wareham goes back to the point ahead of Ward across the line and into turn number 1.
Yes, so it's going to be Stephen Wareham leading at this stage in the race, and it's Tom Ward, John Sully. This is your top 3 pack. They've broken away a little bit from Gary Tall, Ben Daniels, Stuart Adcock et al. In that second pack. You just see that little bit of a visual gap opening up between those cars. So it'll be interesting to see if that gap closes up again coming towards the end of the race once the top 3 start battling. Are we going to see 3 wide coming down the back straight here between Adcock, Daniels and Gary Tall? Yes, we are. 3 wide coming down into turn 4. And well, Adcock is going to be the big beneficiary of this one. If he can just get his nose past Ben Daniels right there, he's going to take it on the run all the way up to turn 6 Ferradura and the turn 7 section. Meanwhile, the race lead is looking exciting as well as Tom Ward and Stephen Wareham start fighting. There's a little bit of contact with Adcock and Ben Daniels. Ben Daniels will have to spin into the inside of the grass right there. Not going to collect any other cars as he's going to hit the Armco barrier. But, well, that could have been much, much worse for all of your other drivers involved.
Certainly could have been replay coming up for you there of that one. A little bit of contact with himself, and Adcock just tips the back end round. Down he goes to the inside into the grass and into the tyre barriers. But Stuart Adcock there up into the 5th spot. He was 4th, but Gary Todd took advantage. He's managed to clear him. And now they'll hopefully have a chance to close in on this lead trio who, whilst fighting, are definitely losing some time. So we could see this battle bring in Gary Toll and Stuart Adcock, Connery. That would make things very interesting, but Wareham here in front of Ward. And Ward's going to have the draft. Will we see a defensive Wareham? Not in time. There we go. Tom Ward to the inside. Does it very quickly. Gets himself alongside before 1. But here comes a big head of steam from John Sully. Is he going to go for the middle? We'll have to wait and see as they come across the start-finish line. Ward resumes the lead. Sully stays in line. Wareham in 3rd. Biggest thing we've seen though, Connery, Tom Ward has a much faster line through this first corner, carries more momentum, but this time by, the other team gotten good runs as well.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just allowed this pack to completely and utterly break the draft from the second pack. You can just see the gap now between John Sully and Stuart Adcock is around about 2.5 seconds now, and that is definitely outside of the drafting range of these Skip Barber Formula 2000 cars. And there's a little bit of lap traffic ahead of your leaders. Didn't quite catch the name, but there was also a car in the barrier at turn 6 and 7 as well. So not a great day for that particular driver as they head up towards that section. Now they've taken the toe, so they're not going to be a problem. But yeah, it's kind of in a little bit of a lull right now in the middle of the race. Just drivers sorting out where they want to be coming towards the end of this race, because as we say so many times during the course of the season, of the Monday Night Skippy season, of the 2K Skippy season as well, you don't always want to be the one leading coming out of the final corner on the final lap, because you're very vulnerable to a draft pass.
Certainly do not, of course. That would put you in the wrong place for this. Lap 7 here of 13. The race ticking by very rapidly. Have a quick look back. Bill Fraser, the 18 car here on the back of Andrew Leach as they follow himself and Seymour Harding there into the final corner. Here comes Hefford as well. He wants to get involved in this one. This will break them into the top 10 if they can crack some of these cars here. Paul Thurston himself as well, making it up to 14th from 18th here. Big movers so far, including Ryan G. Walker, 29th to 19th. We've also got Brian Noyens, 26th to 17th. 17th to 10 is Leach. That's a good move from him. Back at the lead though. What have we got into the centre S's? It is Tom Ward out front, and I think, is that Chris Malcolm out front? That's his old livery. I don't think that's Chris Malcolm though.
It's the lap traffic. It's Charles Kellerman. That is currently the lap traffic that Tom Ward, Stephen Wareham and John Sully have to deal with right now, as he's going to hold the inside line here. Not really the best of ideas, but actually they clear him, but just before the apex, so it's not going to be too much of a problem right there. So interesting that the drivers are hitting lap traffic already. The next bit of traffic will be Ben Daniels, which is in the middle of the lap right now, so it's going to be quite a while, if at all, that they're going to, well, have to pass this car.
Certainly is, as Ward leading that trio, but the group behind catching quickly. Adcock there, along with Watson, who's gotten past. So it's Watson, Adcock, Tall, Turner, Williams in there as well, as is Chris Malcolm. He's rejoined this group. So that is your top 10 there. Andrew Leach, actually the last car in the top 10, being chased right now by Harding, Fraser, Hefford and Thurston. Bit of a gap now pulled here by the top 3. Ward seems to be controlling this one now, Connery. This is his specialty, of course, but is there any chance anybody else here could get involved in this? Get these two back up to him with the draft, or will we see this one be the gap broken now? It's back slightly wider.
I'm not too sure. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I don't think this battle for the lead is over right now. We still have a 3-car pack that could challenge for the race lead. As John Slade's just going to drop off the back of the front 2 a little bit, coming out of the final corner on the run down towards turn 1. Here comes a huge run, as you say, from Stephen Wareham. He's not going to take it, though. That is very interesting.
Very cautious move by Stephen Wareham there. Not wanting to actually pass Tom Ward yet or go for a dive. Staying behind him could be the more safe option right now. Let Tom Ward lead. Let him tow you along. Build a gap, as they are doing, 3 seconds back to that second pack. That could be a big advantage there as lap traffic moves out of the way for Watson, Adcock, Tall, Turner, Williams, Malcolm in that second group. Although boxed in is Stuart Adcock in a 52 car behind Watson and the lap traffic. Bottles things up somewhat into turn 3 and 4. Lap car didn't really know where to go there, Connery.
Now, when
really
you see
controlling positioning.
Yeah, when you see 2 cars battling behind you, sometimes with that traffic, you're not entirely sure where to go, and I think that's what has just happened for Kelly there. And, well, they just picked the wrong one, and you can't really blame him for that. It's just, well, so Agos is just going to get a little bit annoyed. I think he'll put that past him, and he'll get focused back on the race, trying to pass Mick Watson.
Certainly is. Mick Watson controlling the second pack expertly. If something goes wrong in the top group, it's going to be the fight for a podium position here. Front 3 closed up once again. Wareham and Sully, fantastic jobs from these two this week, Connery. Really impressed by the performance of these guys, who have been top 10 this season a lot of the time, but first time we've seen them this close to the sharp end, this consistently.
Yeah, exactly, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. And, well, it's great to see someone be able to challenge Tom Ward at the sharp end of the field, who's taken most of the race wins this season. The only driver that has taken a race win that isn't Tom Ward is that 207 machine of Gary Tall, who's mired back in that second pack right now. And, well, I think he'll be happy with that result as the 2 cars go side by side ahead of him. There's Stuart Adcock and Mick Watson. They're going to make it 3 wide coming across the start-finish line for what is the... I'm not entirely sure how many times that has happened this race. It seems that has happened every other lap, but they're going to head 2 wide coming down into the center. Is Gary Tall going to just make his way through on Stuart Adcock? No, Adcock's going to hold the inside line for the second apex, but the third apex, the Curve del Sol, he's not going going to be there. And here comes the run from Mick Watson. Let's see if he can carry this all the way down to turn 4 as we look towards the race lead, as Wareham has a little bit of a look. We're going to go stick with this battle though, Rachel.
We are there as 3 wide into 4. Adcock was pushed onto the grass nearly. Tall in the middle. And the guy that gets through is Mick Watson. Squeaking past on the inside there with that trio fighting hard here. For 4th, 5th and 6th, I apologise, as Tall jinks to the inside there for 6. As they'll climb up.
Problems for the 502.
There is
This is coming into turn 5, in fact. There's a little bit of contact between Fraser and Hefford, and that just collected Andreas Leach.
It did indeed. Actually, it was Leach involved in, well, yeah, the slight contact there, but it wasn't too severe. It's actually him running wide on his own, and there was no contact there with Fraser and Hefford. Hefford turns in. Leach has nowhere to go. Bang. Into trouble they go. A sad end to their chances for this one. Something we would notice, Connor, as we look back to the 23 in the lead, of course, Wareham in 2nd place there. He's backed out a number of times now, and Tom Ward not making passes early. But he's always making those passes into turn 1 or backing out of them there. He's not looked close enough to get past before the line yet.
No, and he's not actually going to sit in the draft here as well. He's going to duck back into it sort of in the middle of the very, gradual left-hander. He's not going to get the lap led this time by. Here comes a good run from John Sully, but he's going to back out of it as well. Now, are they playing mind games with Tom Ward? That's what we have to be asking. Are they just waiting and hoping for a good run out of the final corner on the last lap to draft pass him across the line?
Or are they even close enough for a compromise line into 1 to carry it through out of Curva de Sol? We'll have to see. 98, Clark Williams, engine blown. Heartbreak for Clark Williams, the first of our motors that popped today at Interlagos. Won't be the last for sure. And it seemed like it was on downshifting because it goes into braking zone. Off he goes. Problems there. Clark Williams. Looking at your top 3 though. How many laps to go here? We're on lap 11. So it'll be 2 laps to go after this one is completed, Connery, and it is very, very close. But looking to P5, it's Mick Watson. That group's so tight again. Adcock out front with the 310 of Watson. Tall and Turner behind them is very tight there, dropping down into the loop. Just behind them, watching and waiting, is Chris Malcolm. Not taking the chance yet, but these guys are fighting tooth and nail. This is a scrap as though this was a battle for the lead amongst these guys. The 2 310 eSport Racing Team cars in the middle. The 13 and the 310. Behind Adcock leading this train. Malcolm bringing up the rear of it. Tall separated from his adversary. Stuart Adcock for just a while here, but a good run through this one for Mick Watson as they run up the hill towards the start-finish line. Could be a good chance for a pass here, Connery.
Yeah, he's running out of time. He's running out of laps to be able to do that. But is he going to back out yet again, as we've seen him so many times during the course of this race? You have to wonder if John Sully's going to make a move here. Is he stuck? And is he tired of waiting behind Stephen Wareham? That's not going to be the case as they head down into the brakes, into the Senna S's. And I think they are just playing mind games at this point. It's just like, am I going to pass you? Am I not? No, I'm not going to pass you. Am I?
Certainly doesn't look that way at all as the 13 of Mark Turner. Problems in turn number 1. I'll get a replay for you of this one as it was contact there with Gary Tall. Tall goes in a little bit as he turns in and rear-to-rear contact there. Both those cars damaged and around. Time lost. Nearly contact with Bill Fraser there as he gets going again. Back to live though. We're looking at your leaders here. We're on lap number 12. 2 laps remaining here. Ward still leading. Wareham and Sully behind him. Will we see any change for positions here as we'll look back a little bit further? That 5-car group is now a threesome. As the 310 has survived this incident, he's up ahead. Mick Watson ahead there of Stuart Adcock. Chris Malcolm behind him here. So we've got 2 3s at the front. A gap of about 7 seconds, Connery. And that's not one they'll close in, of course, with 1 more lap to go. But these 2 trios could swap position here, and we'll have to keep our eyes here on the leaders. Ward, Wareham and Sully. Will they go for the pass this time by, or will they try and defend? Because it's looked as Ward, bit of a slowdown. Yeah, very bad line from Ward. Oh, nearly contact there with Stephen Wareham. Tom Ward definitely gets a bad exit there, and he has no draft because he's alongside, not behind. As here comes Sully, though. It's going to be 3 wide across the line, we think. This is definitely shaking things up at this point. Tom Ward going for the shallower line, but Wareham going to hold it in the middle. He has the run. He gets down low. He has a defensive line here. Should pull the lead. No one really getting a huge draft at this stage. This might have changed things. A mistake from Tom Ward. Uncharacteristic there. As Wareham defends against 2 very hungry opponents. As Tom Ward locks up and Higgs contact. Tom Ward contact. Stephen Wareham there. That's not good, guys. This could definitely shake things up. As round he goes. 2 cars taking each other out. Wareham and Sully contact. And they are not looking impressed with each other. We're not going to replay that one because that's just changed everything. Now the battle for second and third is Mick Watson and Stuart Adcock, as Tom Ward suddenly gets a free pass after contact there that might have actually initiated that little chain of events, unsettling Wareham. Tom Ward gets a free pass and off he runs to another victory this season. But Adcock and Watson will keep our eyes on that here. Mick Watson, Stuart Adcock and Chris Malcolm. This suddenly became the battle for second and third. Wareham broken contact, Connery is saying, but look at this one. Adcock to the inside here as they climb up. Retro Poster. Up he comes. Not Tom Ward, sorry, is Stuart Adcock has the inside line for 7. Nearly contact there with Watson as he just makes it in. Malcolm might actually get a run past him here as Watson gets a bad line. Not going to happen though. Stuart Adcock looking like he'll hold on. And it should be a second place if he can make this one last. But Tom Ward looking like he's going to come through the last couple of corners here and take this one with no problem. Stuart Adcock has to defend against 2 hungry opponents. Watson and Malcolm here smelling blood. One of these 3 will not get a podium finish. But which 3 will it be and in what order will they finish? Better run there by Stuart Adcock. That might be what he needed. Not perhaps by Watson. As Tom Ward climbs up the hill. A little slower than perhaps we might have expected. We'll head up towards the line, and Tom Ward will take victory at Interlagos for round number 9. Stuart Adcock, though, is going to be tight. Will just about hold on for second place over Mick Watson. Third place, Mick Watson. Fourth place, Chris Malcolm. Bill Fraser, top 5 for him. Seymour Harding, Gary Tall, John Sully, Robert Plumley, a top 10 there, and Brian Loynes in the top 10. Fantastic end to that one, Connery. Things changed so quickly.
Yes, they did, and there's still racing going out on track between the 28 and the 21. They're going to head their way side by side across the line for positions inside your top 20, and Tim Adcock's just going to get that one just by the skin of his teeth as they make contact coming across the line. That's going to put Tim Adcock back up into P15. There's a little bit of pandemonium behind him, shall we say. But yeah, that was a very interesting race at the end. The contact between Tom Ward and Stephen Wareham actually broke Stephen Wareham's rear suspension, which is why he had that really weird incident collecting the other car. And that is, as a result, has given Tom Ward the win.
It really has, and honestly, we think that might have been kind of partly with Tom Ward's contact with Wareham that started the whole chain there, getting him slightly off track, which caused the whole thing, Connery. We'll have to go back and look later, perhaps, but to the results of the final score from today's round number 9 here at Interlagos. Tom Ward with a victory. Stuart Adcock, second place, narrowly beating out Mick Watson for that spot. Third place for him. Chris Malcolm in 4th. Bill Fraser, 5th. Seymour Harding. Gary Tall. John Sully limps home in 8th place. Robert Plumley in 9th. Brian Loynes in 10th. Jake Tucker in 11th place. Paul Thurston in 12th. Patrick Fairbanks. Andrew S. Leach. Tim Adcock in 15th. First time we've seen him in a while. Barry West. Peter Cowan. Ben Wild, Niall McGinty, Ian Bassey in 20th. Rest of those results up on your screen as well. We're going to get a chance to talk to the first of our interviewees right here, right now. And that is actually Ryan G. Walker, if he deigns to unmute his microphone. We might get a chance to chat to him. Ryan Walker, return for the first time in a while. You were running very well at one point, but you end up finishing 23rd. So, exciting race, but not the result you wanted.
Yeah, that was a good race. I enjoyed that. Gutted not to get any points on my return, but the main thing overall was just to treat it as fun and maybe use it as a practice race to get back into the Skippy. But yeah, it was a good battle I had with one of the Adcocks, Barry West and Ben Wild, I think it was, and I have to apologise to him for the contact we had in the early stages of the race. But yeah, overall, it was good fun.
It certainly was, of course, for you. A fantastic one there. But at the end, just a little bit too much going on. But hopefully we'll see you back in future rounds. We've definitely missed you on track.
Yeah, hope to be back next week. Is it Watkins Glen, I believe?
I believe it is Watkins Glen for next week. So we'll hopefully see you there. Ryan Walker, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, next up, Craig Hobson, who today, as I scurry through the result sheets, we didn't really see you in the top 10 much today, unlike the last couple of weeks, Craig, but perhaps not the race you would have wanted today.
No, not really. Just the way it goes, isn't it? I've not been going well at all this week at this track, and unfortunately, took the racing line through one of the hairpins and unseen by somebody else, took me clean out.
Unfortunate end to the race for you. What's going slightly better for your teammate, who may be a little angry for TeamSpeak interviews right now? Care to answer for him?
Yeah, he just was a bit of a, from what I understand, a bit of an incident in front of him.
Oh, he's here. We'll have to get live comments from him.
Exactly.
We'll go straight to him, Craig. Thank you for the interpretation. We thought we were going to have to get you to interpret for John Sully at this stage, but we'll talk directly to the man himself. John, what happened there in turn 1, 2 and 3?
Well, to be fair, I've just had to look at the replay to be absolutely sure, but basically Tom smashed into the back of Stephen. I gave Stephen room, there was no problem there, and then Stephen was leading and obviously didn't realise how badly his car was damaged and spun right in front of me, and I basically just couldn't avoid it. So, but what Tom was doing, I don't know. He's apologised in chat after the race, saying something like another dirty win. Well, yes. He did something a bit weird as well on the lap before. He came to a stop at Juncker. I was like, what was that about?
Did
he
see
was
that
determined
one,
not to be leading on the last lap.
It looked that way, of course. But a very, very powerful race from you today. Lap sled and running top 3 all race long. New breath of performance.
Yeah, I've been practicing a lot at Interlagos. It's not traditionally a good track for me. I've never actually won here. I qualify well usually and run in the top, but never seem to win, and today was no different. It was a bit strange, but no, it's good to run at the front, but that's very disappointing to come home 10th there. I mean, definitely had the pace for top 3, maybe even a win, you never know.
Well, hopefully things will change in future rounds. Thanks for joining us, John.
No worries.
Well, next up, we're going to have a quick chat to Gary Tall, who had a very busy race. Ended up coming home today in 7th place, but running top 5 at one point. Gary, that was dogfighting with yourself and Mr. Adcock and Mr. Watson.
Yeah, it was good fun, wasn't it? I think I was probably on the wrong fuel. I was on 3.1 and I seemed to lose a bit on the straights, but yeah, it was great fun fighting with the two of them. I have to say sorry to Mark Turner. I just tapped him slightly going into turn 1. It wasn't intentional at all, but big apologies to him.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, those things will happen in racing sometimes, and, well, it was a good race otherwise. Thanks for joining us, Gary.
Cheers.
Next up, we'll have a quick chat to Barry West, who came home today 16th place. Barry, you climbed from 33rd, so a huge climb from you. Very busy one.
Yeah, so it was a really enjoyable race. I never qualified very well here, but I always seem to race well. And we had a real ding-dong earlier on for, I think it was P20, between Ben Wild, Tim Adcock and Ryan Walker. And I think Ryan got together with Ben. And I was just staying behind. Ryan said he wouldn't attack, and then I made a mistake. He got past, and then I was following them all, watching something's going to kick off in a minute, and nothing did for lap after lap after lap. And we were all about the same pace, so it was really good racing. And then they got together, and then me and Tim had a real ding-dong the last few laps, and I got past him, he got back past me, I got past him. I got past him on the last lap at Yonkai, or before Yonkai, and he got a good draft at the hill, and I was trying to keep him behind along the straight, and I did give him room, but we hit the wall after the lane, so he just bit me by, I think, 300ths of a second. So it was a really good race, really enjoyable.
Certainly was. Well, thanks for joining us for that one, Barry. It looks like it was a fairly good round for the Bananas, as we'll talk to your other member, Paul Thurston, today, 12th place, Paul.
Finished. I think that's the major statistic. Got past the first lap and everything.
I know, impressive run from you today. Nearly a top 10, so we're getting there this season. Maybe we'll see one in the last 3 rounds even. 2, now I can count. I promise I can math.
No,
but
it was my
yeah.
own fault. I should have been. Basically, I should have been where Rob was, up in about 9th. But I didn't go through the back mark as well. It was my own fault. I probably don't race enough, so I'm not used to actually getting past back markers. The first one, I lost the toe behind the group I was in, and then the second one, basically, I came up behind him, and he was coming into the turn N, the left-hander at the end of the first straight, and I didn't decide whether to go inside or outside or what, and I ended up basically doing neither, then just having to swerve to avoid him, sort of locked my brakes, went straight ahead, and lost 3 places. So, and then I was battling with Brian and Jake for the rest of the race, which was a brilliant little battle. It was brilliant fun. I mean, we were swapping around, swapping places, or whether they were, and I was watching them. But on the last lap, I thought I could just get Jake, and I was my front wheel was just overlapping his front wheel, but not quite enough. So I don't know what there was between us. A couple of thou, something like that. There was nothing. But it was a great little race. That was great fun.
Well, good run from you today, and well, thanks for joining us, Paul. Well, finally, folks, we are off to Watkins Glen next week for the 10th round here of Monday Night Skippies. It's been a great race here at Interlagos. Tom Ward wins again, but so nearly didn't. Join us same time next week for the next round, and I've been Rachel Whiteford. I've been joined by Connery Maddock, Hugo Luis, as always, on the cameras. We'll see you soon. Have a great night.